On this third episode of the Journey to the Baja 1000, we're covering one of my favorite topics, budget horsepower. You're watching the Journey to the Baja 1000. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking all about how I bought a 2010 Chevy Silverado 2500 HD. We're going to see how much I paid for it, the parts I'm going to take off of it, and where it fits into the budget. As I said before, anytime I'm using information that I learned from somebody else, I'll give them the credit. Well, this guy is the godfather of budget horsepower. His name is JR and his YouTube channel is a driveway engineer. In his videos, he talks about pulling engines, wiring, and tuning. And he shows you how if you're willing to do it yourself, you can do it at a fraction of the price. Today's video should appeal to the guy who's considering doing an LS swap, just doesn't know where to get the engine and the parts. I have two engines here. I'm going to show you how I got both of them, which is two different ways, how much I paid for them, and what I got in the deals. Let's talk briefly about the different options that you have when you're looking for a budget engine. I'll tell you the ones that I like to use and the ones that I steer clear of. So the first option, as I see it, is the crate engine, or the brand new engine that you can buy directly from, say, Ford or Chevrolet. This is my least favorite option just because you usually get a bare engine, which is already very expensive, and then you need to add on accessories, computer, and harness. The price can get up there pretty quickly. The second option is buying it from somebody, say on Facebook Marketplace or on Craigslist. And it's something I will try to stay away from because who knows why they're selling the engine. Did they have a problem with it? Are they missing parts? And now they're trying to sell that problem to you. And they're generally trying to get their money out of it also, so it isn't always a good deal. So I'll tend to stick away from this option. I like option 3, which is purchasing something on eBay. And that's the way I bought this LM7 engine.
Let me show you what I do on eBay to make sure that I don't get burned. In this case, I did a search for LS and dropout, and I got a bunch of options. I picked this one. $1,800, way too much for this engine. I paid $900 for mine. I even think that was overpriced. Really important is the seller's feedback. He has 1,200 feedbacks and they're mostly positive. I will always click on that and take a look at what he sold. This guy sells car parts and everybody who's purchased from him is happy. I'll go down, and the most important thing when you're buying an engine like this is you want to get as complete an engine as you possibly can. It has to have everything, including the pedal, computer, and harness, and it does appear as if this guy is selling that. I look at the VIN number to verify that I'm getting the engine that he's advertising. The 8th digit in the VIN number in this case is a T. I will go at this point to Summit Racing. They have a site called I Know My VIN, What LS Engine Do I Have? I go down to T, it says, yep, it's an LM7. And then once I click on that, I see that I'm getting an engine just under 300 horsepower and just over 300 foot-pounds of torque. It just so happens the LM7 is one of the most common GM engines out there. It's the one that I have, and I think it actually runs pretty good.
Another really great option to find budget engines is your local pick-apart or salvage yard, junkyard, whatever you want to call it. I bet after a short internet search, you can find one that's close to you.
So after a short search in my local area, I found a few different options, and I picked LKQ over in Oceanside. Here's a couple options on their website. I'll start with the dashboard and what that is. So I have an account with them, and I told them anytime a Chevy Silverado shows up on their lot, I want them to send me an email so I can be the first one to go and pull parts off of it. You can go ahead and search their inventory. There's a bunch of Silverados already at this one, and you can see there's a bunch of different engine options. There's an LM7 there and a couple different ones that I could go and pick from. How much you're going to pay for them? They even have a price list of what you're going to pay even for a complete engine. $279 plus a core fee for a complete engine, not a bad price.
So the last option is easily my favorite, and that is to go and buy a complete vehicle, disassemble it, use some of the parts, and sell the rest. It is the best bang for your buck. The only difficult part is having the space to dismantle the vehicle and also have somewhere to put the parts that you're not using until you're ready to put them on your project.
So I've used just about every different way to purchase a vehicle. This is my first time with Copart, and there are some challenges with Copart. First off, you're not always sure what you're getting. Second, you need to normally be a dealer to purchase a vehicle with Copart. It just so happens that my wife's stepbrother is a dealer, and he helped me out with this one, so that was really cool of him. As I was going through and doing my research, first just going through the VIN number, 8th letter is a K, went over to Summit Racing again, went over to K, an LY6. What's an LY6? I clicked on that. Now I'm getting closer to 400 horsepower out of a 6-liter engine. So I'm really excited about the engine. And then just taking a look at some of the other details on the car. First off, they weren't able to get the vehicle running. And so people will generally not want to pay a lot of money for a vehicle that isn't running. But as I look at the pictures, especially of the engine, it looks to me like it didn't take that bad of a hit and I might be able to get it running. And then as I look at some of the other pictures, it's like, wow, I like that bed and I really like the wheels and tires. I think I will be able to sell those later on and maybe make back some of my money. So we bid on the car, and after all the fees out the door, I had it for $2,388. So we got the truck into my garage and started taking it apart bolt by bolt, just like the J10. And the truck was pretty good. It had some damage on that right side, but not so bad that even those wheels and tires were still perfectly good. I got the truck buddy off. I put it on Facebook Marketplace. Some guy who had a landscaping business came over, gave me $1,000. We dropped it on his truck and he left really happy. Here's a couple videos of me getting the engine started. I had to drop the ignition switch off. This is why I wouldn't start a Copart, because the key didn't work, but I was able to get it started. And then here's another shot of me getting it started on my engine test stand, testing the throttle. So after all that, here's all the stuff we're going to be using from the Silverado. We're using the engine, which is the LY6, the transmission, a 6L90, 14-bolt rear axle. We're using the brakes. I'll probably try to use the fuel pump and then also the steering. And here's the really cool part. This is the final cost. There's a J10 costing us $1,500. The Silverado, I paid $2,238. Sold the bed for $1,000. The wheels for $600. Recycled the still for $100. And I gave myself $80 because I didn't have to buy a battery. I used the one from this one in my other truck. It comes to $458. This is the value of using a complete vehicle in your build.
Well, hopefully what you've seen is that no matter what your budget is, as long as you're willing to get your hands dirty and do a little bit of work, you can get some really quality parts for your build without breaking the bank. Again, I want to thank JR and the Driveway Engineer YouTube channel, which I have linked in my description below, and I hope you'll go and check that out and use it as a resource for your build. So like I said, there is a build going on back there, and we finally get to see some fabrication. The truth about any project like this, especially one where you don't have a manual, is that you will find yourself spending about 90% of your time on planning, dimensioning, and logistics before you ever even get to any kind of fabrication. On the next episode of the Journey to the Baja 1000, I'm going to show you some of the fabrication I had to do just to get started to get the dimensions so I could figure out how I'm going to make these Chevy Silverado parts go into that Jeep J10 body. Thanks again for joining us on this episode. Please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons below. We'll see you in the next episode. Take care of yourself.